Save Us fan art I did. I think it's pretty cool, right? Did a little retro style to it. And what I'm going to do right now is see if I can check to see if I actually am streaming here, because once again, technology hates me. So, I figure let's give it a check before I proceed and do a video. Oh, it looks like it is working. Cool. Radtastic. Alright. Now the thing is I can't see a lot of stuff like the comments and all that, but now I have it up on my computer and apparently it's working. Oh my gosh, it's working. I don't know what I'm doing. So here we go. Maybe I should let people know that I'm doing this, I'm gonna get into doing some art. I was trying to figure out how to share my screen here on my iPad, and apparently I have figured it out. Isn't that cool? So I'm gonna do some art, y'alls. Let's see, let me just let people know on Twitter. Go over to the Twitter. Check it out. There is a link in the description. While you're waiting, there's a link in the description for Only Death Can Save Us. Go help out and support Mr. Russ Leach and his endeavors to make his dreams come true. Let's see. What should I type? Live streaming art. Come check it out. And then I'm going to put a link. And then I'll do the same thing in Discord. And we'll get to this. So, I was, while I'm doing that, I was listening to Robservations today. And he put out a new video. Rob Liefeld, that's his podcast, if you didn't know. Really cool podcast. The dude is passionate about comics. That is absolutely undeniable. And it's cool to hear him talk about it. So, I like to listen, because guess what? He's one of my faves. So, alright, here we go. I have now tweeted. And I have now Discorded. Fogbreaker, what's up? We gotta connect, homie. Alright. Oh, I got a thumbs down. I got a thumbs down. What? Somebody, you know what? Guess what? If you get a thumbs down, that actually helps the channel too. So go ahead, thumbs down. Thumbs down all you want. Do it. I dare you. Or thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. I never ask people to subscribe. This is probably the first time in like 700 videos that I've asked somebody to subscribe. Maybe not 700, but anyways, let's get to some arts. I got the chat here so I can make sure I'm keeping tabs on that. So let's see. Let's do a new page. We'll just keep it at this 8.5 by 11, 350 resolution, white background. And so yeah, I was listening to Robservations, and the link for that podcast is down in the description as well. And let's see if I can explain things and talk at the same time. Or explain things and draw at the same time. I'm not used to doing this live streaming by myself gig. Drawn in purple. Do I really want to draw in purple? I suppose it won't hurt. Let's draw in purple. Why not? Alright. You know what? It's not thick though. Like, I need to change. It's at 6 6, whatever that is, inches. It's not inches, that's for sure. Let's see, 12, is that too big? Oh no, that's just right. But I want to lock it in. How do I lock it in? Bam. All right. We're going to lock that in, y'all. All right, I'm going to draw a bunch of circles. So Rob was talking about a lot of things. He was talking about the 90s, what it was like. He was remembering back to the glorious days of the 90s. And conveying his thoughts and experiences. We'll draw 3 circles. How about that? And he was just talking about a lot, like I said, a lot of things, but kind of later on in the podcast, he started to get to this kind of point of like talking about what his and his peers' thought group, what thought patterns kind of were in when they were kind of thinking about what they were doing with art, and like kind of what their influences were, and like where like what they were thinking, like because he was talking about like all the influences that came before him, like Arthur Adams and let's see who else. Arthur Adams was like a huge part of it, but they talked about the stuff that like Arthur Adams was influenced by, and stuff like that, and they were too, like Michael Golden I think was part of it, and then there's like Kirby and stuff he was talking about, and just things like that, and I feel like I need to do a little thing here. Have a little bit of a separation. And so, he said that like they all kind of loved Arthur Adams, especially him and Todd McFarlane, and I won't spoil it too much, but Arthur Adams is kind of notorious for being amazing, but also not really, I don't know, like he's not super like prolific as far as like books go, like he was like one of the best, so he almost didn't have to be. And I think he kind of this is my understanding, when he was in his heyday, he still works and stuff, it's not like he went away, but when he was like the hot sauce, he from what I was not like really knowing, I don't even know how much I was into comics at that point or knew much about it or anything. It wasn't till like after his kind of time where I started to really get what kind of influence, way after his time, before I started to get what the influence was for some of the creators who influenced me. They always talked about Kirby, so I knew that, but I didn't like Kirby. Now I love Kirby, but so he they were kind of, Arthur Adams was like the big guy, so because he couldn't be so prolific necessarily, obviously Todd McFarlane, Eric Larson, all the Image guys, they were kind of becoming the hot sauce. As I guess this is what I'm calling artists who are, becoming kind of a big deal or whatever. So what they said, I guess, like McFarlane was saying, was like, well, if Arthur Adams isn't gonna get bring like his stuff all the time, then we'll just bring Arthur Adams to them or something like that. So he was talking about that, and then he was so they like kind of intentionally brought the things they loved about the artists that they loved into their work. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, every artist is influenced by somebody. And, to kind of be, I don't know, try to hide those like some people might try to hide those influences and stuff. But like, it's not the worst thing if you don't, really. Like, that he brought up the example of like Bruno Mars, who is obviously influenced from like Michael Jackson and Prince and I would say what's his name? Why can't I think? It's late, so like I'm probably gonna go to bed after this. So my mind might not be 100% with the recollections, but so it was I can't think of James Brown. Definitely influenced by James Brown. So and other people are like, to the point where like Lady Gaga or something, like he didn't mention Lady Gaga, but like this is who I think of. Like, she almost is literally trying to like, there's songs where it's like she's literally almost mimicking Madonna or something. Like it just sounds like a Madonna song or whatever. So people don't even always hide their influences. So anyways, it just just this idea of being, it's okay to even be bold with kind of your influences. And so I don't know, it made me think like, well, I did this fan art, right here, this one that I did the other day. And, I like how it came out a lot. There's really cool things. It's kind of a typical comic book style. I'm obviously not as good as, these amazing comic book artists that I look up to. But, I think it came out pretty cool. I enjoy it. I'm happy with the results. And you can even see up like on the skull, some of the lines and stuff I used are definitely influenced by, McFarlane, Liefeld, and stuff like that. And, I don't know, I like it. But I was thinking, like, what if I try drawing this character in like a cartoony style, or like, what if I try to mix some of my favorite styles in with it? And I've had fun before playing with rubber hose type art styles, and this like Scythe or whatever it's called, this weapon that he has, is really, it can be a little bit tough to know exactly how to draw it. But anyways, so it's I just thought, wouldn't it be fun to try to draw this same character that I just drew in a maybe a more cartoony, fun style, or just mix some different influences, purposefully, and also just thinking about my own style in general, like maybe I could be more intentional with like blending styles that I like, you know what I mean? Let's see what the chat is saying. We got Johan Arts. I can barely see it, but it's going out great as I know it. I can't put the comments in because I'm using a different program, but yeah, I know it's hard to see, and I'm sorry. Hopefully it's starting to look better. Maybe I could use a darker pencil next time if I do this again. Let's see, I just want to make sure this is muted. Alright, this is muted. Now I'm going to play the live video so I can see what you guys are seeing. Guys and gals, I should say. Oh yeah, it's hard to see. Maybe if I blow it up a little bit. I mean, I could switch to to just like black. It might be more contrast. Yeah, it's gonna be a little better. And I could use a thicker kind of thing. So I'll go over these lines that I've already done a little bit. So what I'm doing here is I'm starting with like shapes, gestures, kind of using shape and gesture at the same time, not really being super strict with my own thing. Like you should do like shape or gesture first always, like in my opinion, and then shape, but I'm kind of doing shape and gesture at the same time, mostly because I'm trying to talk and draw at the same time. So I think that's part of the problem. But yeah, so I'm just trying to, I want to kind of show you the lines that I've already drawn so you can see it better with the black. It's cool to like, this something I don't do a lot is draw characters like more than once, unless I'm doing obviously a comic, but I don't know. There is something cool, like why don't you try a character and try it in different styles, It's kind of fun. I drew Spawn in a cartoony style one time. I really like it. Lawrence Segui? I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that, but thanks for hanging out. Frank's in here. How do you make Lady Gaga mad? Poke her face. Ha 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 ha. Yes, I love it. All right, let's see. So I want to kind of bring this leg forward, but I just want to keep like the thighs small, but what I might want to do is bring in a little Von Bodie influence or a little Don Martin influence. Make those feet a little bigger. Because I like big feet, I like big hands. Those are fun. Or who's the creator of, I know Peter Seckler would kill me probably. He wouldn't kill me because he's such a nice guy. But he would kill me for not knowing. But who is the creator of Popeye? Because, he used like big feet and stuff too. Would that little spike kind of peek over? I guess so. And we got the spike right here. So, I just thought it'd be fun to play around. So let me go back to this one. And I started with circles because in and there's other influences too. It doesn't have to be cartoony, but there's other influences I'd like to play around with as well. But oh, you know what? Bruce Timm. So if I make one side of this leg like super straight and then or kind of straight. Let's redo that. And then make the other side have the lumpy bumpies. I think that's kind of a Bruce Timm thing, right? But then combine it a little bit with the big feet of I need a bigger eraser. Let's see. We're gonna put it to 20. Is that too big? Hopefully that's not too big. And I'm gonna lock it down. Burnt. Alright. It's a little bit better. But yeah. Bruce Timm, like sometimes and also Kirby, like the action of Kirby, like what kind of stuff do you like intentionally want in your style? What things do you like in comics that you'd like to bring into your style? Like some people like more realism. I tend to some of my favorite artists are those who mix the cartoony with the realism. So say like Bill Watterson is like one that is kind of an early one who's done that. Earlier, I should say. And who else? I think of some contemporaries like Jake Parker, Doug TenNapel, and Jason Brubaker. They all kind of play with, cartooniness, but with a nice thick dose of like fun realism type thing. And I really like that style. I don't know, maybe I could draw on that. There's a couple pieces you could see in my Twitter. Let's see if I could bring my Twitter up real quick. Oh yeah, check it out. Indiegogo, Only Death Can Save Us. Link is in the description. You know what? There's an app for that, isn't there? You can see right in this picture. This is kind of me doing that. And I wish I could get to the full... I guess I could go to the full picture. Let's see. I don't know if it shows personal information. I'm going to skip that because I don't have it ready. I'll go back to this. So, that kind of drawing, though, like where it's cartoony and there's also some like fun realism to it. So, let's see what the chat has to say. George C. Hey, Marsh, I've been watching your videos for a while now. How do I get a hold of some of your comics? The only real place you can get a hold of any at the moment is, you can go to the 9-Volt Anthology link to get a copy of Expando. It's going to be an anthology of many creators, but I have an 8-page comic in there, I think. And that's the only thing you can kind of really get in print at the moment. But you can also digitally just go to donkeyjawprojects.com and read some of my stuff there too. I gotta remember to draw while I'm talking. So we're going to bring in a little bit of this rubber hose style and then, see what we can do. So think about it, like, I almost think sometimes even when you're designing characters, like, it's almost better to start with words and start trying to describe it before, instead of, like, starting with, like, drawing and stuff, at least for me. So if I kind of try to describe some of the style, some of the elements I would like possibly in my style, one of them would be, mixing the cartoony with the, with a little bit of realism. And then I would name, like, different creators who are super, like, I can't help but be influenced by them, so let's just write some of them down. We got Sam Keith is one I didn't mention yet. McFarland. I never know if it's McFarland or McFarlane. Liefeld, the Image guys. I'll also put Kirby. What do I like specifically from Kirby? I like his energy and his power. Liefeld, I like his dynamic layouts. Same thing with McFarlane. And he's got a lot of energy and power as well. He definitely takes that from Kirby and also from manga. I would just put almost manga as, even it's not like, there's a lot of different artists that bring a lot of interesting things. But yeah. See, again, Sam Keith is interesting because he brings in cartooniness, but with, like, a lot of kind of detail work and stuff like that. So once again, we got Jake Parker. Really love his work. These are all the same though for me, kind of things. Tenaple, and Brubaker. I mean, have you guys seen Justin Brubaker's new Indiegogo, Phobos? I actually have the old copy, his old Phobos comics, right near me here. But the new stuff, like, he said he was, like, almost literally trying to do his version of Todd McFarlane when he did the early Phobos, but now it's amazing what he's doing with this new Phobos, like the three-dimensionality and kind of the film grain effect, and that's kind of the similar type of thing I'm trying to do with Armor Girl, the tentative title Armor Girl, but it's going to be like a rubber hose style animation type of effect. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, I like Stark. Oops. Let's see, get that pencil back. Stark, like, what kind of elements do you like? Stark blacks. Like, I like that really comic-y feel that has a lot of deep blacks, or a good balance of blacks. Not as heavy as Magnola, but I do love Magnola. I don't know how to say that. Some people say, like, Magnola. Some people say Magnola, or I don't know. There's so many. I mean, Jack Davis, he's another one who can do realistic and cartoony. And I really love the energy in manga. I love speed lines. I love tone dots, or whatever the heck they're called, screen tones. So yeah, something around that is some of my favorite stuff. Oh, I gotta put in Von Bodie, and this is actually a good point. Graffiti, because I have actually been a big fan I'm spelling graffiti weird, of graffiti. You know, hip hop is a huge part of my life, so you know, graffiti I have to throw in there. I've definitely been influenced by that, and I think that's a good kind of a special sauce. Like I feel like a lot of people do similar things, but you got to also bring something unique that nobody's mixing with it. And some people do mix graffiti type styles, but you know, I'm just saying like that might be something that helps. That's the one thing I don't know what I have. Like what's my kind of special sauce that I kind of bring to the table. Um, so let's see. Check out the chat again. What's up, Abe? How you doing? Sketchy Harsh. How you doing? Thanks for coming and hanging. You're Mark. You renamed your channel. All right. What's up, Mark? Frank, are we best friends? That's funny. The conversation. So yeah, what are the type of influences that you would like in your style, or that you feel like what kind of things do you feel like you're really influenced by that really informs your style, like so far, you know? Let's see. So I want to kind of, so with the rubber hose style, anybody who's like a big strong man or whatever, they usually get just a very round body type. Like think of like Bluto or whatever. There's not really much muscle definition, but you know, I'm gonna put a little muscle definition at least in the sketch here, but I might kind of take that out. So let's see. I'll do one more kind of gestury sketch here, and then see if we can kind of move at least one of these into a little bit further development. Let's see. He's got kind of this. Trying to remember perspective too here. It's a little weird, like the hood. I love this design that Russ Leach has created. But the hood trips me up a little bit. Mostly, not because it's bad design, but it's because I don't... Like, when the hood isn't actually on his head, it's hard to know how to draw it. Like, it just becomes... At least with this drawing that I did, you can kind of see behind him. It just becomes this, like, piece of fabric that doesn't... I guess I didn't really successfully kind of shape it out in a way that's kind of interesting, at least in this one. And I had a hard time with like the parts that kind of come up around the neck. They're like more stiff parts, I guess, and you really can't tell in this drawing. But one thing that's interesting is if you study comic books, even from the people who created them, a lot of times they don't even get certain elements of the costumes consistent and stuff like that. So yeah, let's finish this one out, and then we'll start on the other gesture. Probably should have gone to bed already, but I felt like doing this. I got a second wind after I was working on Calamity Jane. And plus, I'm obsessed with YouTubing. Where do I live? Well, I like what Frank said. I don't really give out that information. But, you know, I live on the East Coast of America. Everybody kind of knows that, so. I don't have to be super secretive about that. So yeah. So that's probably enough of a sketch on that one. Let's get one more. See if I can kind of reposition this one to give it a little more room. These are fun, you know? I don't know. I forget that I could do things more cartoony sometimes, you know? And it's a lot easier. I mean, sort of. Cartoony styles aren't always easy either, though. You know, I could put the hood. It might be kind of fun to try to put the hood on this one. You're from Delhi? Cool. What's your favorite comic book? It's another version of saying what's your favorite, what styles do you like? Alright, so I'm gonna go to Only Death Can Save Us and look at the reference picture so I can see kind of what the hood looks like. It's interesting because in one of the drawings it almost looks like it's part of the stiff collar thing, but it's not actually. But anyways, so yeah, he just kind of does. Sometimes I forget to put the pencil back on, and I start drawing with the select tool. So yeah. So I'm just kind of throwing a hood quickly on him here because we don't really see him too much so far in most of the images with the hood on, and it's kind of fun to vary it up a little bit. So I'm gonna do that. Alright, cool. Alright, let's see, what kind of position will we have him in here? Maybe I could do like him running or something. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Let's do that. So let's get like a kind of a through line, side kind of thing. And then since he's cartoony, we'll really try to exaggerate that pose a little bit. I feel like I'm going to run out of room even still. Let's try to move this again. I could make these guys a little smaller, but I don't want to. Alright. That should be good. Got the eraser. Let's see. The magic of digital. I could even bring this far. Okay. It would have been cool to do a pose of him like jumping too, but I'm gonna stick with the running thingy. Okay, let's stop playing with this position thingy. Alright. You know what? I wonder if I can kind of get both. Let's put this over here. I want to be able to see the chat and see my reference. You know what I'm saying? Stinch, where's Stinch at? He's usually jumping on here. I'm only asking because I happen to see his artwork here. I didn't really do that on purpose. Oh, come on. Sorry for the delay here, y'alls. Good Only Death Can Save Us on Indiegogo. Check it out. Get you some comics. Alright. Oh, weird. Get you some Only Death Can Save Us. Alright, the 9-Volt Anthology is a good book. Yeah, totally. I would agree. Go get it. Alright, so let's get back to drawing. Of course. So we're gonna really try to exaggerate this pose. I guess I could also, probably get rid of all this or put it somewhere else, much smaller. There we go. Do. I think the Nintendo theme is always in my head. The Super Mario Brothers, I should say. Sometimes I forget to exaggerate enough, you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? Which side do I want him to have his weapon in? It's cool just playing with shapes, though. Get that exaggeration going real good. I like that spike. The spike on his shoe. So these are the lumpy bumpies. And then maybe I can get one of those somewhat straight. Should I do like this Bruce Timm kind of thing here, or should I keep that angle there? It's actually kind of cool. I don't know if that would be Bruce Timm. I haven't studied Bruce Timm. All I know is that he has like these very like definite lines, you know what I mean? Like sometimes there's just a straight line where there would be lumpy bumpies, but it shows the gesture so well. And then maybe I can make his shoe kind of have a little wiggly womp. Kind of like like Don Martin, or just a little bit of that. I'm probably going a little too far with that wiggly womp. In fact, I don't really like how that's turning out. Alright. I'm liking that, though. I'm liking that. Do you like my terms for things, wiggly womps? You should do a Kickstarter or Indiegogo. I'd back that. I really appreciate that, and I hope you stick around, for a while, because I definitely plan to very soon. Probably somewhere early in 2021. Frank, did you hear about Andy Mation? Yes, I'm on iPad Pro, Charlie. Thanks for checking in. I don't know who Andy Mation is, but apparently Frank does. I really like this curve here. That's pretty awesome. Maybe I can have his hood kind of fluttering out a little bit. I'll show some of that motion, This is kind of, definitely taking those kind of animation type of influences and manga and stuff like that. Let's see. I never know how to draw butts. Like, I don't want to accentuate it too much, but I want to at least, like, acknowledge its presence. Unless it's like a pretty girl and part of the point is to kind of show it off a bit, but of whatever, it could be a storytelling element. Let's put that spike a little. I don't know why, like that one detail of the shoe spike, I keep wanting to draw away before it's time to do detail, but I guess it's kind of important to place a few little details sometimes to kind of just get kind of an idea of like where this is going, I guess. I don't know. Does that make any sense? Get a flavor of the character, I guess, Andy Mason, that does sound familiar. Now that you write it out like that. Does stop motion. He worked on Paranorman, and he does flipbook animations. Oh, that might be, I might have seen him then, because yeah, I've seen some YouTube videos with people who do flipbook animations. Alright, so where should I put that scythe? Is it a scythe? I kind of think it looks good in this hand. This is the part of the drawing, too, where maybe I need to make them smaller a little bit. Because I want to get that whole body in there, the whole scythe and everything. Do 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 do. All right. So, let's get this scythe in there. Am I saying? I'm probably not even saying it right. The dealer of death. Somebody said on one of the live streams, only Russ can save us. Thought that was funny. Only Russ can save us with cool comics in 2020. Lane Vision Official, how you doing? I watched one of your videos today, I think, and I liked it. I like that walking gesture. Thanks. This message is held for review. What did you say, Charles Arch? What did you say? Did you put a link? I'm going to show it. Hopefully there's something bad in there. Hey, check out my YouTube channel. Oh, that's why. It's kind of technically, it's like spam. They consider it spam if you say things like, please subscribe and check out my YouTube channel. But I'll let it pass. Don't do it again. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, that's why YouTube automatically hides your comment, Sometimes people think that I'm hiding their comments, and I'm not. It's YouTube does it. I let almost any comment through. There's been some weird, like, girl things or, inappropriate stuff that it's like, there's a lot of kids who watch my videos, and I'm not trying to have them see something that's not good. So, but other than that, even if it's kind of spammy, sometimes I leave it in because I'm just like, hey, it's another comment, helps the algorithm, gets me maybe more views, and also I just don't care. Like, who cares if somebody, I don't know why people care that much sometimes about certain things, but this might not have been a good place to put this scythe because I gotta make like the blade the right like angle so it doesn't like, you know what? See, that's gonna be like a weird tangent. Whatever. Whatever. We're gonna have to just deal with it. You know what I'm saying? All right, this sketch is pretty much done. So now, what shall we do? Which one do you guys want to see me flesh out more than, the most? Here, we'll do this. Let me make it bigger so you guys can see. We'll make the running one number 1. We'll make this one coming forward number 2, and we'll make this one number 3. Why am I writing a 3 like that? So put your vote in which one you want me to flesh out to kind of a full drawing. I don't know if I'll color it or not, but we'll give you a few minutes. And while we're doing that, once again, Only Death Can Save Us. Go to Indiegogo.com and type in Only Death Can Save Us, or there's a link in the description, and check out what I'm drawing, the character that Russell Leach has created. It's a really cool all ages comic book adventure, and I think it's worth backing and helping out an awesome creator do his thing. Make sure you vote while I'm going to refresh it and see. There's 44 backers at 2,246 so far. See if there's any more now. Nope, not right now, but it has grown a little bit today, so that's really cool. I really think he's going to get there. He's 34% there, but, it's going to take some time. All right, let's see. Frank says 3. Dan says 1. Lame Vision Official says 1. George says 2. I'll let it have a little bit more time. And then I will go with whatever has the most votes. All right, let's see. It seems like 1 is the vote, unless something pops in quickly. So I like that one too. There's probably the most energy to that one. But I also like 2 a lot, but I like them all, but Mark, pick a number. Yeah, Mark, pick a number. But I guess I'll probably just go with 1, since that's what you guys want. The only thing with 1 is there's a little bit of an issue with tangents, but that's kind of okay because it's overlapping. It's an overlapping element, and it might be okay. And it's also a side view, so there's like a little less, it's a little 2-dimensional, but that's okay. 7, you want a 7? Okay. We didn't do 7, but I'll pretend 7 is a 1 because it looks like a 1. All right, so let's see. I guess I'll just zoom in. Do you guys think about style? Like, do you feel like your style is set in stone, or that you are still trying to find your style? No answer is wrong, by the way. All right, so let's get into some details here. We'll continue with the pencil. And let me bring up the reference of the character for myself. Where did it go? Oh, I probably just got to scroll over. There we go. Put that reference. There we go. I love how he has a turnaround. It makes it so much easier to draw the character. All right, so I don't know why I like the big hands, because the problem with big hands is that means, well, it's easier to draw big hands, and you got to draw them anyways. So I guess this complaint makes no sense. But if I make big hands, then they're more noticeable, and I'm still not that great at drawing hands, guys. I know that's like something that a lot of people aren't that great at. You know, or I should say, a lot of people at some point, every artist struggles with hands, if not throughout their whole career. And I'm definitely one of those artists who struggles with hands from time to time. Most of the time, I would say. Another thing that I struggle with that's on this character is spikes. Getting the spikes in like the right position that looks right. Like sometimes it looks like some are kind of awkwardly placed in the wrong position or something. But you know, I'd give it a shot and do my best, and see how that goes. It goes okay. How much should I define the muscle? Should I maybe not define it at all? Maybe not define it at all. All right. I guess if I draw the circles first of the things, then I can figure out the rest later. So I'm going into detail here. Oh, you know what I'm doing wrong is I'm drawing on the wrong layer. Dag nabbit. I do that all the time, actually. All right. Also, when like in the fist like this, how the finger folds, I don't even know why I'm drawing that part anyways, because I don't need to, but it can get complicated for me at least. And luckily this is a cartoony version, so I don't have to try to be all detailed here. All right. I'm not a fast drawer. Sorry guys about that fact. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh, Dale picked 8. Good, because there's no 8. Hey Dale, by the way. Everybody's trying to be wise here, you know? I don't appreciate it. No, it's alright. It's all good. It's all good. Adam says, I definitely think of style as it pertains to specific projects, which can vary pretty drastically. Yeah, totally. Well, as you know, I'm kind of going similar to Armor Girl. I'm going to that style, the rubber hose style with this a little bit, but I'm also mixing in Von Bodie, and I don't know, just different influences, I guess. I kind of went through it earlier. I don't know if you were here. But I'm not necessarily using all those influences I listed anyways. I'm just kind of... I gotta make sure, you know, this drawing is going to go on forever if I don't keep it, if I go a little too detailed. So I gotta make sure I kind of keep it chilled out on the details a little bit. So I guess I'll draw the Sith thing. Sid, I don't know how to say it. Skid. Somebody told me the other day and I still don't get it. I probably won't ink this. I'll just do like a detailed pencil version. You know, digital pencil version. I mean, I might later, you know, ink and color it or something another time, but I'm actually, it's already, it's like 12 o'clock. It's midnight. I have to be to work in I have to get up for work in 5.5 hours. But I don't feel tired at all right now. So that's good, I guess. Sacrifice my sleep for you guys. And because I feel like drawing. It's selfish. It's always selfish a little bit. Let's see. What did I miss? Lame Vision Official says, I feel like my illustration style just developed by just drawing. Hard to see it myself, though. Yeah, I can't. It's hard for me to see, too. But maybe if I'm a little more intentional with my style, like I was talking about, maybe I'll be able to pinpoint what my style is a little better. Dan, also known as Sideburn, says, I think I have proportions down, but I'd like to explore more than one style depending on what fits with my temperament. Yeah, all those kind of considerations are important. Lame Vision Official, I struggle with hands without references. Yeah, it just comes with drawing a lot from references, and then you start to get a little more of a feel. The hands in this Only Death Can Save Us piece are horrid, but, it is what it is. Let's see. Dan loves democracy. Oh, that's good. So do I. Let's see. I do that way too often myself. I'm not sure. I don't remember what he was referring to. You gotta do your online classes, Sketchy. Well, thanks for hanging out with us since you when you had time. Awesome Wolf says, what inspired you to draw? Well, I don't know if you mean like initially in like my whole life or if you mean like tonight. Tonight it was, I was talking about it earlier, this latest episode that came out today of Robservations, which is a podcast by Rob Liefeld. He was talking about the 90s and stuff. And I gotta do one of these so I can get this thing right. Oh, that was a nice line. Pretty nice. That'll probably do. Yeah. Cool. Wow, that came quick. Usually it's harder to get those lines. All right. So he was talking about kind of his approach and him and Todd McFarlane and all of their approaches when they were kind of really getting their style down, and they took a lot of influences. They took it on purpose, especially from Art Adams. They all were super influenced by him, and since Art Adams didn't get stuff out as quickly, they felt like, hey, well, we'll bring Art Adams to the people if he's not going to basically do it. He said it differently than that. That's maybe sounds a little harsher than he said it, but I don't know. I'm not trying to misrepresent what he said, so. Just trying to figure out how I should do this shoe, this boot. I'll make the soles a little thicker because it's cartoony. Once again, I'm doing kind of these big feet, maybe like Popeye or like Von Bodie. I always like big hands, big feet. They're fun. And then this straight line here is me trying to put in a little bit of that Bruce Timm stuff. Not that I haven't really studied Bruce Timm super strong, but I notice he's got the kind of straight lines and the curves that he kind of mixes one on each side or whatever. This is actually coming out pretty cool. This is fun. I like drawing in this kind of cartoony style. Wish I could just call out from work. I don't want to be in work anymore. Maybe I should make his waist a little smaller. And then let's make sure this. You gotta make sure the lines. Oh man, I'm on fire tonight. That was like a really nice line. The thing is would I be able to do it when I'm doing the inking part? Maybe I should just keep it pencil anyways. Yeah, I don't always do confident lines like that, but that's what you should. They say, you got to try to do confident lines, and I kind of agree with that, especially with cartoons or cartoony styles, I should say. It's fun to do too, like if you don't have like a style that you only draw, like always, you kind of always draw in the same style. Like if you're the type of artist who likes to sometimes go a little more cartoony and then sometimes you like to go more detailed, that's kind of how I am. If you're that kind of artist, then I think something that's interesting, and this is a little tip from me to you. It's a little thing that it's like one of those things that maybe people would want to keep secret because it's like, oh, if I let other people know, then they'll do it and they'll steal my idea. But it's not that big of an idea. I'm sure anybody with half a brain will figure it out anyways. But if you're doing like a fan art or a commission or something, somebody wants you to do like, Batman or whoever, a cool thing to do is switch up the style. Like if they're asking you to do something that's like, I shouldn't say if they're asking you. I more would say if you're doing it for yourself, because if they're asking you, they probably have a specific style that they want you to work in. So, you might not have even the choice. But that being said, see, this is where I get confused. Like, I don't know. Let me finish my thought. Maybe do your fan art in the opposite, kind of style. Like this is more of like, it seems like a darker kind of character, even though he's actually a hero. But like, so since he's kind of brooding, dark type of character, even though whatever, maybe do it in a cartoony style. Like do Wolverine in a cartoony style. That's interesting. Whereas if you just are another person doing Wolverine in a gritty style, or Batman in a gritty style, then you don't really stand out. It's not as interesting and fun. I don't know. But also the same goes the other way. Like do Popeye in like a gritty style or something. Like, I don't know. I think that's kind of a fun approach. You don't have to do it that way, but I think it's kind of a fun approach sometimes. Alright, let's see. I'm just trying to look at the reference a little bit so I can get a better idea. So, I don't think it's supposed to be like that. But yeah, I was wondering if I should I'm going to redraw this part a little bit. I was wondering which way was the right way to curve this boot, like this way or this way. But I think I did it right, so, originally. Let me just clean this up a little bit because I do want these pencils to be a little bit more on the clean side, since that's going to be the finished art for tonight. So once I finish these pencils, so all right, I want to get the shape a little bit more accurate to the design, though. So he's kind of got this thing going on, and then he's got like and it's also interesting to note like where do you exaggerate, you know, and where don't you kind of exaggerate. All right. When you're doing a cartoony style. All right, so I don't know if I'm doing this necessarily the way somebody who is better at this than me would do it, but this is how I'm doing it. So in this armor here, there's like 3 little, you know, rivet things, but I'm just going to do 2. That's, you know, you got to simplify somewhere sometimes. So that's kind of the boot. I would probably thicken this up and make it look a little bit more like one piece, you know, after the fact, even though I'm doing it right now. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so now I got to do kind of the same thing over here. This is kind of more like a shell. I want to make sure it looks more like a shell. These are things that maybe I would refine in the inking stage anyways, or, you know, maybe another pencil pass for, you know, just certain parts or something. I think I want to, do that. All right. It's not going to be perfect, okay? It's not... Chill out, Marsh. It's not going to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. Now I'm doing Christmas songs. First it was Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers. Now it's Christmas songs. Hey, I didn't mean to do that. Whatever. It's not important. Alright, so this one I think might curve this way. I don't know why I think that. Yeah, I guess that does make sense. I'm like choosing the right things for once. I don't know how I have the ability to do that today, and other times I'm like, nothing I draw is right. Okay, so hey, we're kind of getting there. Another thing to do, I know this is like a weird tangent. I think it's okay though, because I think it's like overlapping, and maybe with color and stuff, you know, it'll work better. But I mean, you're never going to be 100% free of tangents, I think. I don't know, unless maybe probably way better artists than me can do it, but I see tangents even in professional art though. So I don't freaking know. But yeah, this scythe with the shoe situation, I think it'll be... The problem is, too, is the metal of the blade is like... tends to be the same color as the metal of the tip of that shoe, or the tip of that boot, so that makes it tough too, but maybe there's a way. I'm sure there's a way. A professional would know how to do it. That's not me. Just joking. I hope I'm somewhat professional. Now this doesn't have to be the perfect like pad. It's just like representing that pad, I think. I like this shape. It makes it look like it's moving forward and stuff. Again, the shape came out better almost. getting those blacks in there too. Like, well, this character already has a lot of blacks to it anyways. So, let's see. He's got the thing that comes down this way. So, I want to make sure I get that strap right. Let's build out this body first. We'll go with the shoulder pads first. Oh, weird. He colored it wrong a little bit in the reference. This pad that I already drew on his shoulder, and on one part of this, he forgot to color it red. See, even in professional work, because if there's anybody who's a professional, man, Russ is pretty much there, in my opinion. All right, so this pad is going to be tricky. So it would be mostly hiding, here a little bit. But it's a big pad, so you're going to see some of it, a decent amount of it still. How would it... This one's a little tricky, because his body is twisting. So let me at least draw this edge of it. There we go. That kind of feels right. I think that's happening. It's a happening thing. Then I gotta draw the stupid spikes on it. Maybe I'll just draw 2 spikes, because it's, 2 rows or whatever, instead of the 3 that he has. That's where you gotta do the simplifying thing, I guess. Do. All right. I feel like I could have done it a little bit better. But in the interest of time, I think I'm going to let it be. He's got these 2 big buckles too. I'll get to the chat again in a sec. Just trying to figure out. This is the most complicated part right here for me tonight. I think it's passable though, for now. I think it's passable. Style. The king of what? The king of style. All right, this is fun. Let's see what the chat's saying. Awesome. Yeah, I missed the first 45 minutes. And looks awesome so far. Thanks, Adam. Up your nose with a rubber hose. Thanks, Frank. You're all about the jokes these days. How do you know when you're the right guideline? When you have the right guidelines? Well, you get a gesture that you like, and I don't know. It's a sense thing. I mean, you got to practice gesture drawing to kind of learn how to get good gestures, and you have to practice forms. You lay the forms on top of the gesture lines, and you learn about proportions and how big certain things are, and it's kind of a lot easier to do it in cartoon sometimes. I don't know. Cartoons are difficult too, though, so I don't know. So I don't know. It takes practice. Definitely do a lot of gesture sketching. Put a lot of bad drawings in your sketchbook that you don't even have to show anybody, and then play a lot with forms. Like this form is like an arm. If you could see through this part, you'd see like the cylinder or whatever. So, that's like kind of an arm shape. When it's kind of just pointing down or whatever. A head would be like a circle. And then I like to put this kind of line down or whatever. Kind of place the chin. Get that jaw kind of in there. And this line, it also helps to turn it into a box sometimes. And then you get like the eye line and the nose line and the mouth line and stuff like that. I don't know. There's lots of tutorials that talk about all these things. Guess I don't need to erase that, but whatever. So, let's see. Lane Vision Official, I love spreading... Oh, that was R&B Low, by the way, who asked about the guidelines. Lane Vision Official, I love spreading trade secrets. I wish it was more normalized to share them in the art industry. Yeah, I share everything. Thanks. Yeah, I agree, by the way, that it should be normalized. J Arts, how you doing? What brush are you sketching with? It looks kind of textured. It's just... I think it's just the typical pencil that comes with Clip Studio Paint, unless I loaded one in and didn't realize it. Let's see. Adam Lore says, you could put a shadow on the spike on his foot to make it clearly separated. Yes, that's a great idea. Strategically placed shadows can certainly help. Doesn't seem like a bad tangent, though. It's pretty clear where everything is. Cool. Yeah, you kind of have a better sense of that than I do, Adam, anyways. So thanks for the thoughts on it. All right, we're getting there. Oops. The other one goes the other way, so you won't see it. All right. And then there's kind of this line that goes down here. I don't really know what that is, but he always draws it. It's something to do with the suit. Then he's got kind of this thing going on. Let's see. Getting there. I'll get that hoodie out. Hoodie. I guess it's kind of weird to call it a hoodie. I don't think that this character would call it a hoodie. Woody? A hoodie, Woody? His name is D, a.k.a. Death, Grim Reaper. But it's funny that they kind of he nicks names in D. Just, it's interesting. It's funny. But I guess there is kind of a comedy element to this character, too. So, I mean, you can see it in the first few pages. If you go to Only Death Can Save Us on Indiegogo.com and think about supporting, and while you're thinking about supporting, what can help make your decision is he's got the first, 5, 6, 7 pages or something of the comic right there for you to read for free. So yeah, there's some you'll see there's some comedy going on in there, and it's pretty cool. I dig it. Alright, we're almost there. I don't know if that's the right line to go there, but it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Alright, let's get the skull going. I'm always afraid to draw, like, I always like to draw the other parts of the body. When it comes to doing more finish lines, I like to draw the other parts before I draw the head, because the head's like the most important, and it's like, you know, I could kind of practice before I get to the most important lines with the other stuff. I'll have him have his mouth open a little bit. Maybe he's like shouting. It's kind of interesting though, like what happens here, like it's just dark, you know, in most of the drawings this part is just kind of dark. Like does death have a neck? We're unlocking the mysteries of the Grim Reaper. Today we will be discussing, does death have a neck? Alright, let's see. I don't know if I really did this profile good. Let's put the eye in there. And then this part maybe would go here. And this kind of comes in here. Then we put this line here, this kind of skull thing. And he has like, because he's kind of, I think he's like almost, he almost looks mechanical the way Russ draws him. So there's always this line here, which is cool. I digs it. And then this part's just always black, pretty much. I think in a cartoony way this works, you know. You just pretend that makes sense. Alright. And then he's got these lines. So I don't know if I should draw the chest too much. Because in like the rubber hose thing style, you know, you don't usually draw much of that, but I'll draw a little bit of definition there. Really what I should do is just kind of black that out a little bit. It's just going to be sketchy. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. Try to keep these sketchy lines in a way that kind of makes sense to keep the form going, you know. If I were to ink it, you know, it wouldn't even be sketchy, it would just be blackish, but, you know, there's a highlight there, and kind of same here. Try to make pretty definite shapes, although here I'm not really doing what I was going to say I was going to do, am I? I mean, I suppose my sketchy lines don't have to be perfect. That's kind of why they're called sketchy lines. But, you know, I want to make it look decent. Then I use the eraser here for these like little contour lines that he draws. And here, I don't know if I want to go too far. I want to leave some highlight. Yeah, I definitely look forward actually to inking this. and coloring it, which I'm not going to do today, but I look forward to doing it when it is time. And I think I might flesh out some of these other ones too at a later date, because I like them. Oh, I forgot to draw his flippy flaps. So let's see. Well, since he's running, his flippy flaps should be flippy flapping. But I drew such a cool butt. Now I have to cover the butt a little bit. Look at, how do I don't usually draw those confident lines so well, but it's working. It's working tonight. Erase the little butt. All right. That's not a confident line. If I did a little twist, I'd get it a little better, but I like how that's going. I guess this part, I probably shouldn't do this with it, but like this is too much detail for a cartoon maybe. And I might just, that part will come in with colors. I can use shading and stuff. All right, so there should be definitely some shadow down here because there's a flippy flap. And I don't think I'll see any of the other flippy flap. I mean, unless I kind of put it down here, but that might be a little weird and stuff. I don't know. Is that weird? Maybe it's not weird. It'll be colored red. Let's see, where else would the shadow go? I guess kind of like this. And like this. And then I'm going to have it kind of dissolve a little bit up the leg. Maybe. I don't know. That probably doesn't make sense, does it? Maybe I'll change it later. I don't really love how that's looking on that leg. I might have to fix that a little bit another time. Put a little rim lighting there, even though it doesn't need to be there, just to separate. Let's see. Yeah, make it bigger. It's easier to draw when it's bigger, Marsh. I love pencils. Put a little buckle action there. The little, I don't know what the heck. Oh, that one is going the wrong way. There. Oh, I didn't do a whole arm. Let's do this. And let's get this other arm in there. Let's see, I guess I'll just draw the fingers first. Yeah, I'm Not the greatest with hands. These ones are okay, I suppose. Actually, yeah, I'm doing that part wrong a little bit. This should be this way. And then we'll do this. Get the full shape of that glove kind of action in here. Almost done, guys. Guys and gals. Every line kind of can add to the action, has the potential if you do it well. Like even these little lines are kind of spreading out a little bit. Yeah, this is not really the best, but it's okay. I guess maybe these should be tucked in a little bit like this. Yeah, that makes a little more sense at least. Probably screwing that up a lot, but whatever. I kind of know what I'm doing, but kind of don't. But yeah, even the way these kind of the armband type things flay out a little bit shows the motion. And then even this arm kind of goes a little bit thin to thick. And that I think shows the motion too a little bit. And again, even these little sketchy lines, but those sketchy lines wouldn't really be there quite like that if I ink it, or when I ink it. And maybe I'll throw some darkness there, and then some here too. Whoops, I've gone a little too far there. Should I do any metallic type of effects? Maybe I should leave that for colors. Yeah, I think I would just leave that for colors. I suppose the hands need to have a little of that shadowiness to them. When I actually ink, I'll have to make the real decisions of how this part will look. I guess the shadow's coming up probably from above, so maybe this makes sense. I don't know. I didn't really even think about where the direction of the light is. I just assume it's coming kind of from the top, but I didn't get super specific with it. Maybe it's fun to have a little bit of metal effect on the armbands. But then I got to do it to all the armbands and the feet bands and all that fun stuff. It's not that hard though. I'm sure I could be a little even more thoughtful about how that would work. Also the spikes. See, this is, Adam was saying to kind of, I think, put the shadow here, which makes sense. I think that's what he was saying. The shadows don't always have to be like perfect. It's sometimes you put shadows in places that just make better sense to kind of for the design, to pop certain things out and whatnot. A master, somebody who's really good would probably be able to do it better and more accurate at the same time. I mean, there's different considerations, but sometimes design trumps accuracy with stuff like that. I haven't really studied real hard like what how to do metal reflections. I just kind of copy what I've seen other people do in comics. I mean, I have observed it to a certain degree, but it's not something I spent a lot of time trying to learn. It's something worth spending some time in the sketchbook with, though, someday. Probably kind of note to self here. Do some studies of metal reflective surfaces. It's always good to try to practice all that kind of stuff. And again, these kind of things go with the contour too, and I'm probably messing some of it up, but you try your best, to kind of keep things going with the flow. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. And then we got these spikes that I can probably just indicate a little bit. I could fix this when I really go in maybe a little bit more. That'll do the trick though. Oh yeah, and then the scythe thing or whatever it's called is also metallic. Everything's metallic. What the heck, Russ? Why you do that to me? Do-do-do, do-do-do. I think I'm doing it okay, but it's a little sloppy in here, but... And then the blade. Maybe something like that. Oops. I don't know if that's the right way to do it. It kind of looks okay, though. Could even put like a little sheen on there at some point. But yeah, I don't know. This is kind of cool. What do you guys think? I'll go back to the chat in a minute. This is kind of finished pencils, I guess. There's a little bit of detail in there, not much. Oh, I forgot this hand. There'll be like a little shadow here. Put some shadow here. There's cast shadow, and there's, I don't know, what's the terms again? I forget. Cast shadow and, what is it? Almost like reflective shadow or something. I don't want to go too crazy here. Sometimes I mess things up by going a little too crazy with shadow and details in that way, but trying to keep it simple with the cartooniness. I might not be doing that shadow right. I probably am not, I should say. Oh yeah, and then the wrist thingy. This actually is supposed to have these little padded kind of doohickeys going on. But I think they're more like almost like a fabric or something. Or pads of some sort. They're a different material than the metal, I think. So I put like these little sketchy lines, I guess. I'm being a little messy with it, I know. And then like this little rim thingy here to kind of separate them and show that there's light hitting that little top ridge. And you could do that too with the this, cause especially with these, because it's like reflective. So trying not to go too far with this, but you know, these little details kind of make a difference sometimes. And then here, there's always these little details, like, especially if you draw it over and over, you kind of miss little things here and there sometimes, but, you know, if you get the basic idea of it, it works out. So I think that's about it. I'm going to reduce the opacity on the layer underneath even more so we can see what it kind of looks like here. And I am going to move this down. Right, let's do this. Move it down. I'm not doing it right. Okay. Do that. Oh, it's on the wrong layer? Oh yeah, I'm on the wrong layer. Yes, apply transform. Do that. Do that. Now, there we go. Now you're cooking with gas. Alright. And then we already did that. So yeah, that's that. And I'll save it later. Let's go back to the chat and see where we're at. How do you know? Okay, I said that one. Adam was talking. Dale. Wait a second. That's Death? Yeah, it's Russ's character, yeah. Only Death can save us. There is a link down in the description. It's the same character as this, but in a cartoony. This was the first fan art I did, and now I'm doing this one. A little more cartoony version. And I'm looking forward to inking it and coloring it. And maybe I'll do the other ones too. There are no necks in hell, Liam Vision Official says. That's funny. What does Death eat? Probably tacos. Who doesn't eat tacos? Yeah, because they're fiery. He probably eats the hot sauce. I don't know. Dale, his mouth is strange how Russ draws it. It's a mask, isn't it? I know, it's like a skull or a mask. Like, I don't know. It's almost looks like it's metal, but he is Death, so, you know, it's cool. It's like armor. It works, I think, though. Like, it's one of those suspend your disbelief thing. Like, you just kind of accept it. At least I do. Sketchy's back. What? Hey, all my class is done. That was quick. Is there any kid there? I don't know. Adam says, yeah, that is exactly what I was thinking. Probably with the mask thing. In response to Marsh, not sketchy harsh. Lame Vision Official. It looks great so far, Marsh. Thanks. Dan, aka Sideburns, says metal and leather is a challenge for me to draw. Yeah, you know, I'm learning myself. I don't know if I really do it right. Sketchy says, Marsh, that's the good stroke. Thanks. Dan says it's all coming together. George says nicely done. I dig it. And he says like a cross between the Max and Spawn. Yeah, Sam Keith and Todd McFarlane are both huge influences for me. So as I was talking about earlier, it's kind of intentionally bringing across those influences. So anyways, guys, thank you for hanging out with me. I am officially got 4.5 hours before I'm going to wake up if I go to sleep right now. But you know what? I'll probably delay my waking up to... I wake up an hour earlier than I really have to anyways, so, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Tomorrow I'll probably be regretting it, but thanks for hanging out with me late at night. And other than that, I will talk to you next time. All right, peace out.